thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the work that you're doing.
Okay. I have been directly involved as the center's development officer for the past 4 years. And prior to that time, I was affiliated with the center as a volunteer as a result of a long-standing friendship with the son of the center's founder, which was the late Bishop Quentin Primo Jr. And we put on many fundraising events to help support the operations of the center. 4 years ago, a strategic plan was put in place to expand the services in the West Garfield Park community, and I was brought on board to achieve that.
That's wonderful. And I know Primo is a wonderful organization. It's been around for many, many years. Tell me a little bit about the organization itself, and then we'll go into the realm, but I'm going to be hopeful to put it in context.
We serve homeless mothers and children and provide all of the wraparound support services that one might need if they are in a homeless situation. We also provide community mental health services and community support, and by that we are a food distribution center, clothing, furniture, whatever needs might be desired by someone who is not able to support themselves fully. We also provide mental health services within the West Garfield community as well. So we're sort of an anchor to the community, and also collaborate with similar agencies in the west west side of Chicago.
And I think that's a part of where our connection, your CEO actually is a former colleague of ours.
Yes.
And then I know Primo Center is one of the programs that we go into, because what Beacon does is that we don't own and operate any shelters, but we're going into shelters and providing the services. So clearly that's the collaboration that's developed between our two programs. Now I'm really excited because I know there's this run coming up, and I think that's what you're on the show for today.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about where did that idea come from?
Well, it did emanate from Christine. Approximately, I believe, 10 years ago, there was a walk to end homelessness.
I think it was Kids Walk for Homeless Kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was the inspiration to have that walk again and be more far-reaching. And the times also, are dictated, the need. There seems to be a greater need and a younger population of families, that are utilizing the services of shelters and interim programs. So the walk we're hosting the walk, but the idea is to have nonprofits, other nonprofits that serve the homeless community take advantage of our organization and be able to raise funds, to serve their constituencies.
And so the run is on Sunday.
The run is on Sunday.
And there's various levels of participation,
yes.
Right? Okay, so can you describe some of those?
In terms of, when you say levels of participation, in terms of being a participant,
yes.
or a volunteer or
all
donating?
Of those things.
Okay.
It's a lot of questions.
It's a 10K run that is timed. Or competitive. I have to learn all the jargon.
The chip time, yeah.
Yes, there is a chip. And it's a 5K fun run walk, and then a kids dash. So there's something for everyone. We know that the issue of homelessness affects all segments of, the population, and we want everyone to come out and support and be aware, of the need. It's to raise awareness and also to promote health and fitness. So Walgreens will be on site conducting screenings. They are the major sponsor of the event, and the Chicago Park District will also be on hand with a variety of fun activities and nutritional information, for the children. And there'll be music and a variety of activities. So
I'll put
you
some
know,
information on the overhead specifically about the run.
that would be good. And
Okay.
even though it's Sunday, people can still register online at runhomechicago.org. You can also register on site the day of, not for the 10K. The last day to register for the 10K would be Friday morning for that. And also, there are 3 sites that for packet pickup that Thursday, today actually, will be at the CAC in the Loop. Not today. Today's Wednesday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Tomorrow's Thursday. And Friday, I'm going to give you the exact locations if you could bear with me. I'm sorry.
Well, and I know one of the things, you mentioned how can participate in this. Clearly, there's a need for runners to participate in the actual race.
Right.
But then charities, this is open for charities, and this is how something the Beacon got involved with, is that you can sign on and raise funds for this. And I know currently there's a handful of charities that are involved. Beacon, of course, is involved. Lincoln Park, Renaissance, Inner Voice.
That's correct.
Do you know some of the, I don't know.
Yes, I do. Clara's House, the Southwest Chicago Pads, they're participating, as well as, I think you mentioned Deborah's Place.
No, I hadn't mentioned
Okay,
Deborah's Places.
Deborah's Place, Feather Fist, and Inspiration Corporation. And other participants, we have some athletes that are very philanthropic, and their organizations are also participating. We have the 88 Ways Foundation, which is Desmond Clark. If you're not familiar with him, he is a Chicago Bear. And the Wood Family Foundation, as well as the Legacy Project, which is part of Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church. So they're also a charitable partner.
And then I know there's prizes, I think, for runners. I know it's a chip time. So what are some of the other things that I know the running community always look? What are the prizes?
Yes.
What do you get?
There are medals. We are a nonprofit. So there are first, second, and third place medals for men and women for the 10K.
Nice.
There is a recognition for the team that brings out the largest number of participants. And there is also a prize for the individual who comes in under 55 minutes for the 10K.
Nice. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And
And
so
the kids, all the children will receive a ribbon because that's wonderful.
that's great. No, that should be fun. And so and then where is it being hosted at? I know where's it?
Soldier Field.
Soldier Field.
So yeah, Soldier Field, 7:00 is registration. And the event kicks off at 8 a.m. And we are honored to have our mayor, Emmanuel, and his wife, Amy Rule, our chairs, and they will be there.
Gosh, that's wonderful. Are they running?
We're not sure.
God, that's great. No, I think that'll add a lot to the event. Right. Now, is there going to be other festivities on Sunday, or is it just the run? And then
it's the run. The Jesse White Tumblers will be there.
Okay.
And, it will be a very festive atmosphere. Home Run Inn will provide pizza. There'll be, plenty of opportunities to mingle, to find out about the various nonprofits and, what their specific initiatives are in addressing the needs, of the homeless population, and where they're located in their niches, are throughout our city. So we all want to come out and be supportive and help to end homelessness in our city.
Well, and I know this kind of is a good segue. It's a good segue into just trying to understand some of the unique needs of homeless and some of the funding challenges, and that events such as this are so important. And I know you have some statistics on homelessness, in terms of some of the things that we know for sure is that family homelessness continues to be the fastest growing homeless population. Do you have some numbers for Chicago?
Well, I know that there are over 11,000 children in Chicago public schools, and that is, a huge number of children that are homeless. There's some of the statistics that we have even put together on the site, because the idea is to let people know tangibly that we are tracking, and we know that there is the huge numbers of people, and it's actually and they're growing. I believe last year the rate rose, I believe 5%. I don't want to
5%.
It
3 to 5. I
rose,
think it was 3
it
to
was about
5%.
5%. It was 5 point something. Just in terms of the poverty rate in Chicago, it's currently 21.6%. And just to give an idea of just the levels of poverty, more than 10%, or 281,000 people live in extreme poverty in our city, and that's a direct that can give you a good indicator of the fragileness of a population, and how one can go from being housed but being in poverty, but then ending up in a homeless situation.
And then, what are the options to become sustainable after that? When we look at the challenges associated with affordable housing and or sustainable employment that really can provide someone with a means to survive, it just it kind of compiles. I understand we have a caller. Yes?
Yes, I was just wondering, the money raised from the event, how will the monies be allocated?
Actually, what's neat about this opportunity is that Primo is hosting the event, and the opportunities for the charities to secure funds is if people are sponsored. So Beacon has a small team that's running that will be running, and we are looking for sponsorships for that for the event. And actually, I'll put Beacon's information up very quickly, so people can, if you're interested in sponsoring any of Beacon's runners, you can go on to Run Home Chicago. You register, and then or you can find the sponsor drop down within on that page, and then you can find the Beacon Therapeutic team. But I know there's other teams that are running, so the agencies are able to raise funds that way through the sponsorship of their existing runners. This is a very costly event, so this is something that hopefully everybody's going to make some money associated with their running teams. I mean, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, Shelley?
You are mentioning sponsorships, but straight donations to the agencies can be made as well.
Yes.
Because all of the participating organizations, they are linked to their individual sites. So that's another way to be supportive in terms of how the monies are used. All monies that go into the agencies, 100% of them are for the benefit of that particular organization.
So I think that's true. There is a link direct to the website. So the multiple charities that are part of this initiative, their websites are you can access their websites and then make donations directly to the organization. And to the organizations that are part of it, I know some of them serve families, some of them serve singles, some of them operate housing, some of them are just overnight shelters. So there's a variety of folks that are there that people can choose what they want to support, which is kind of exciting. When we were talking about homelessness and the needs of homeless families, I know some of the biggest challenges is trying to find appropriate resources and making connections. And how do you think what this run is kind of broadening the awareness? I mean, what are some of the outcomes and the goals of having this run?
Well, you did state it, and that the major goal is to raise awareness. There are over 80 nonprofits within the city that serve homeless and underserved populations, and to let the city, those who live in the city, understand that the need is great and resources have, they're dwindling from our governmental agencies, and to offer an opportunity to showcase this year, in our inaugural year, a particular group of nonprofits that are serving, and if there is a particular area that, speaks to a particular individual or organization or corporation, then they could be better served by resources, financial resources. So that's one, that's a major goal, of putting on a run of this type, and to try to gain attention, from the constituency. I keep using that word. For those who don't necessarily have a direct contact with the homeless, we're all aware of the population because we're serving it 365 days a year. But by having a run where an individual might first be signing up just to be a participant in an event, then there's something attached to it that they can possibly learn more about within our village. Visiting the different agencies and learning more and finding out, where they could possibly serve in terms of even volunteering, or resources, that they could be connected to, whether it's their workplace, or their religious affiliations. There's a variety of areas that, or different ways that people can serve.
Well, and I know, that the benefit also is that there's going to be tents set up for the
Yes.
organizations can talk about their work. And I think you bring up a great point that it's not, of course, financial resources are always helpful for non-for-profits, but it's also, it's the time and the talent. And being able to, perhaps, folks are looking for board members or to volunteer or something else. Our organizations are often looking for donations, just like of used items you mentioned.
Yes.
Things that families need, and I know Beacon's always looking for donations of furniture and clothing and those kind. I'm sure you guys are as well. So I think this is an opportunity, hopefully, to connect that whole running community with
Right.
this issue, which is I know is a very strong community. So maybe there'll
Yes.
be some synergy there, which will be great. And I think there's so many wonderful runs over the summer. It's really hard. So I think there's a lot of enthusiasm to really have this take off and have a life of its own. Now I'm interested that the mayor is going to be there. Is this something that's of particular interest to him, or how did that kind of evolve?
Yes, he is very interested in addressing the needs of the homeless population in the Chicago area, and is also a runner, and felt that he wanted to show his support, and his wife as well, and his family members. So they're very sensitive, to the needs of the homeless population.
I know it's somewhat fortuitous because I know Chicago's in the process of redoing its plan to end homelessness, and some of the other work that I do, I'm heavily involved within the Chicago Planning Council, and to end homelessness. And we're in the process of developing this new plan.
Yes.
And I know this is something the mayor is very interested in. It's something that he's, they're actively participating in it. And I think it's something that's going to be launched. What the final one is going to be within the next month or couple of months or so. So it's kind of it's a nice way of further solidifying his interest by doing this. And then, obviously it leads into the broader plan. So what, we're almost out of time, so I'm wondering what other final comments or thoughts do you have on the run? What would you like to see it evolve to, or just on this whole issue that we've been talking about?
Well, we would love to have people come out on Sunday if you have not registered. It's going to be a beautiful day.
Yes, it is. That's true.
It's going to be quite warm, I understand. But this, we have a very open heart, in our city. So I would encourage people to, to come out. If you're not a runner, come out and, learn more about the various organizations that are represented towards, this end. And
Oh, excuse me.
bless you. And the idea is to, of course, this is the inaugural run, but to expand it. And hopefully with just the awareness, we will have a greater impact. You always want to make sure that what you're doing is going to benefit, people in a positive way. And that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Well, this is exciting, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this. Really hope to see this continue to grow, and next year become even a bigger run, and greater interest and more organizations involved, because I think clearly we've been fortunate that we've been able to be part of this on the ground level. So thank you. And thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you.
And so we will see you again next week. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to put a final overhead on that talks about the run. Again, it's a run this Sunday. For more information, you can reach out on the website, www.runhomechicago.org. Thank you very much, and I will see you on Sunday.
Okay, and we have a shirt for you to wear on Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, it's a really nice shirt. Oh, this is the logo, right?
And this is the logo.
Oh, that is really nice. Thank you.
So you don't have to think about what to wear.
That's right. I can wear it and sweat in it. Thank you.